two of the lucky ones. For us, school was pretty easy. We had good grades, we played sports, we had good friends all throughout, and we participated in some kind of extracurricular activity or other. And somehow, some way, we both knew we would always go to college. I'm not sure why that was or how that was, but we both just knew that was where we would go. Sadly, this is not the case for more and more of our kids each year. As teachers, it's our job to help them master content, but as 8th grade teachers, it's our job to help them start thinking about what they are going to do in high school and beyond. However, getting students to think about the future is difficult when day-to-day is often overwhelming for them. So motivating students to see that education is an opportunity to discover their strengths and weaknesses, their likes and dislikes, and ultimately their future requires more, in our opinion, than just good intentions, a couple meetings with a counselor, and a high school visit in the spring.
We've been using the My Graduation Plan to empower and encourage students to take the time to really think about who they are, what they like, what they want, and most importantly, how to get there. For the past 3 months, we've been meeting weekly with 20 students to complete activities in the My Graduation Plan program. Students have completed online surveys about their favorite subjects, their learning styles, and their career goals. They have watched inspirational videos about goal setting, success, and determination, and they've recently started to match their personality traits with a future career. Students have responded positively, and overall, they seem excited to participate each week. As a result, both of us have seen some positive effects in several of our students.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about some of my students and some of the changes I've seen in the last 3 months or so. DeAndre came to us in October, and he and his brother had been moved here from another state by their single mother, who had decided to move them away from some gang influences that were impacting their lives. She made the decision to move here by herself, and for most of the fall semester, DeAndre was struggling to complete homework. He was receiving detentions. He was failing tests, and spent most of his time avoiding teachers with head down, kind of passing us in the hallway, not looking at us. I believe the My Graduation Plan Huddle experience has opened the line of communication between DeAndre and myself. I teach him in both social studies and science, and though he still has some issues in homework completion in other classes, he has made some positive steps in the 2 classes I teach. He's not missed a homework assignment since end of November. For me, in either class, he was performing in the 50th percentile on most of his quizzes and tests, and now is performing regularly in the 70th percentile. And he also comes in each morning into my homeroom and tells me what he did the night before, the weekend before, the day before, which he had never done previously. Interestingly, recently he gave Ms. McClammy and I a CD that he recorded of his music that he wanted our feedback on, which he had said he had not shared with anybody else. So that was pretty powerful. You're going to hear from the next 2 students, so I'll keep it rather brief because they're going to share with you how they feel. But I've been teaching Ricardo since the start of school. I think he's been here since 6th grade, I think. He has started coming in for extra help sessions. He's been asking me for help to stay late after school, to come in early during lunch. He has started asking questions in science. He's raising his hand. And if you know anything about middle school teachers, you know they don't want to be the one who doesn't get it. But Ricardo has been, in the last month, probably the most honest student with regard to what he doesn't understand. He's not afraid to say it in the class. He will pull me aside sometimes afterwards, but he will simply say, "I don't get it," which he'd never done before. I feel as though he's really begun to take ownership of his own learning, and as a result, he's risen his grade from the mid-C range to about an 83 at this point. So he's gone up about 6 points. And this happened probably since November, I would say. Lexi, who you're going to hear for, started off the year quiet as a mouse. She rarely participated in class and spent most of her time doodling or reading her book of choice under her desk. She spent most of her time with her head down and, again, avoiding eye contact with me pretty much at all costs. But But since starting the program, Lexi has made some great strides. She is participating in class more. She told me that she has set herself a goal of getting A's in science and in most of her other classes, but really in science. She's now asking me to retake or recover tests that she didn't even fail. She's asking me to retake tests that she's gotten 85s, 86, 87s on, and has told me that B's aren't good enough anymore. So I'm happy about that. Recently, she told me that she's now going for the double magnet program at North Springs for visual arts and science. And this has all probably happened in the last 2 months, I would say, 2 or 3 months. So I don't know if that says it all, but it pretty much says it all. But I think Ms. McKinney myself.
I'd like to say some positive things about my students as well. Amber was a student who came to us after living with her grandparents in another state. When she first got here, she struggled to connect with teachers and her peers, had a negative attitude towards her work, school in general, and in the past 2 months, she's become more enthusiastic. She's supportive and kind to her classmates, and she puts forth the extra effort to get all of her assignments done, and not only completed, but quality work. I feel that my graduation plan helped her view school in a positive light, and it bridged the gap between me and Amber, and it helped us form a relationship that probably would have taken longer. Leslie, you'll hear from her in a moment. Leslie missed about a week. First semester, she was very sick. And typically, when middle school students miss school, teachers spend weeks trying to catch them up, help them get back organized. Leslie went to each of her teachers, asked what she missed, got it done over the weekend. Not only was it completed, all of her assignments, but they were accurate. She works hard. She's determined to succeed and set an example for her peers. And Jamila had a rough start in some of her classes last semester, but she's one of the best communicators in 8th grade. She had a hard time expressing her knowledge in different formats. Through my graduation plan, she's learned to embrace her strengths in reading, writing, and speaking. She produces quality work, and she can write a wonderful essay and show me that she knows the standards. My graduation plan shows great promise, and we think it will be as effective in other schools if computer access is readily available, if it's delivered in small groups, and it will become even more effective here if it incorporates multimedia activities and allows teachers to adapt certain activities to become more hands-on and interactive. Given these small adjustments, we believe it would positively impact all students.